Be very careful when you catch yourself saying the following words: I want something. Be very careful. Pay close attention. These words have been leading many, and it has been the beginning, a sign that many are about to do a great evil towards themselves and others too, when they decide that their will guide them. Their will rule over themselves and others, and even over God. Be very careful when you catch yourself saying, I want like this, I want that. Of course, we are not talking about normal things. Do you want tea or coffee? Oh, I want coffee. Of course, we're not talking about this. A decision that will bring little consequences. But in other matters of life, when your parents tell you, listen, this young man, this young woman is not for you, and you confront that criticism or that prohibition, I want to marry them. Be careful, because this I want, this example and many others, this comes from selfishness, pride, vanity. And here is the danger. Where is your I want is coming from? Is it part of a resistance, stubbornness? The I want has a root, a source, and if your I want is coming from pride, right? No, I will show that I am right. I don't accept the advice of others. I won't just do it because others are telling me. No, I am my own person. Be careful, because if your I want is coming from pride, if your I want is coming from vanity like, I know I shouldn't, but I want because I can, and everyone will see that I can. Is your I want coming from vanity or pride? Is your I want coming at times from a grudge? Yes, a grudge. A payback desire. For instance, the husband tells the wife, you shouldn't do this, I don't agree that you should do this or that, and you have an opposite opinion. And soon, in another situation, where she wants something, no, I want this my way, and I will do it my way. Trying to pay back just because the husband didn't agree or consent with something that she wanted. So her I want comes from a desire to pay back, to impose her will on the other. So this source of this I want, of our own will, they are dangerous, and usually it leads us to failure, to ruin. You see something, you want to buy it, you know that your finances don't allow you, but your little heart says, I want that. And you imagine yourself taking pictures with it or using it, showing to your friends, your family members that you bought it. It doesn't matter if you are going to spend the whole year paying the installments of this purchase. It doesn't matter. You want it now and that's it. Which means vanity, pride of this life. There is a phrase that is widespread. Be careful for what you wish for. Be careful with what you wish for. And this sentence has its foundation in the Bible, because since the times of Cain and Abel, God had warned them, had warned the human being that our desires are against us. God had warned us about it. Therefore, when He teaches us that we should do His will and not ours, it's not because He wants to control us. It's not because He wants to take our freedom of choice. It's just because He knows that our will tends to sabotage us. God knows that we as children, you who are a parent, you know that. A child, when there's only 5 minutes for lunchtime, they see the mother preparing the dessert, and they see that dessert that is for after lunchtime, but they see the dessert and they want to eat it now. And if the mother doesn't watch and just looks to the side, the child puts their finger in the bowl and eats the dessert before lunch. And the mother says, not now, it's not for now, it's for later. This is for later. But the child doesn't want to know about later. Which means their desire, their appetite, that desire to eat that sweet, which is way more pleasant than the broccoli that is on the table, they don't want to wait. Then the parent must say, not now. You know this. When we were children, we did this very often. And thank God to our parents that told us no. Thank God. But this does not end when we are no longer children. Usually it gets worse, because when we are children, we say, when I grow up, you will no longer rule me. I will do whatever I want. Am I right? When you are a child, you are upset. When you are a youth, you are angry. And you promise yourself, when you are an adult and you become your own person, you do everything you want and nobody will stop you. And at times, the person brings that rebellious child within themselves. And what is the result? Look at someone who does everything they want. Look at someone like this. Will you see someone successful? No. Those who are successful know how to say no. The most successful people in this world are people who must tell themselves no at all times, or others. I won't do this or that. I need to go to bed earlier. I need to speak to so-and-so. I need to face that. They must say no. Successful people usually are disciplined. And what is discipline? It's to say no to yourself. But very often, from the moment you wake up in the morning, the alarm goes off and the desire is to stay a little bit more in bed. And you must say, no, it's time to wake up, and I will. Until you go to bed again. Oh, I would like to watch another episode of this TV series. No, I need to go to bed and wake up early tomorrow. If you want to be successful, you must say no to yourself. The most successful people are those who always say no, many no's, to themselves and to others. Now, look at those who always say yes. Those who do everything they want. What will you find? You will find addicts, people that are all over the place. They have no time for anything. They have no responsibility, no family, no marriage. They have no job. Usually, you see people who didn't have to fight for their wealth, or they came from poverty and now they are rich and they want to show off like a child in a chocolate factory. And they say, I have money and I will do everything I want. That's why most who win the lottery, soon they are poor again. Why? Because now I'll do everything I want. I have money. So those who do everything they want usually end up back in the curb, back in the mud. Dear friends, a warning amber light must go off in your mind when you catch yourself saying, I want. This amber light must go off. It must warn you, wait, let me think about it. I just said I want something. I'm insisting on it. You must have this amber light with you, and you must pay close attention about the source of this I want. Because if you're just a little careful with yourself, you will remember that prayer, the hardest one, not as I will, but as you will, the prayer of Jesus, and the most well-known prayer in the world, the Lord's Prayer. Let your will be done on earth as it's in heaven. You will remember. And when you are in doubt, dear friend, when you are in doubt, I advise you, surrender your will to God. When you are in doubt, if what you want is really the best or not, take what you want and tell God, Lord, I don't want to choose. I don't want to decide. I surrender this will to you, and I ask you to guide me. And if you are sincere in this prayer, He will show you what is best. And you can be rest assured that the will of God is always good, perfect, and pleasant. Always. If you always do what God wants and not what you want, He will never lead you to a bad place. However, your will, the opposite, is guaranteed. If today's video helped you and you know someone that could benefit from it, share it with them, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel, you may do so now. See you later.